Do you know how to pronounce my name?
Shahak. Shahir.
Not bad. What was the last word?
Shahar.
Shapira.
Shapira?
Like Shapiro, but with an A. Like Shakira, but with a P.
Shapira.
Yeah.
I like how you have to change Shakira or Shapiro depending on who you're talking to. More Republican, you're like Shapiro, but with an A. Welcome to... Did you already break it?
Oh, no.
Did you already break it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Would you go to therapy already and stop taking it out on my mic holder?
I barely touched it. It just came right off. Okay. I am so mad about that thing you told me right before we started recording that we can't talk about right
Yes.
Which you had told me after we recorded.
I couldn't hold it any longer.
I'm just stewing over here about it. But we can't.
You're pissed?
I am annoyed. Not
Pissed
even
mostly
just,
for yourself?
No, not. I'm mad that no one. It seems like an injustice.
Should have been me. Now I want you. Is your camera on? Are you framed okay? Your head's not cut off.
No.
I'm so paranoid about these. Welcome to The Downside with Gianmarco Soresi and Douglas Goodhart. I'm here with my guest co-host Russell
fuck
Daniels.
You.
This is airing after our 100th episode was last week. It was our live episode with Lucas Connolly.
Great.
We knew it was 100th retroactively, but it was very exciting.
Yes.
We are here with a guest. Flew all the way from Germany just for this.
Just for this, yeah.
Shahak Shapira.
Yeah.
Say it slower.
Nice.
And it's
I appreciate the effort. I know Americans, I don't know why it's so tough on you guys, but like...
Not for
why
me.
you do know
Shahak
your
Shapira.
language. Your language is it's a mouthful.
Shahak Shapira. I just
First
said
of all,
it so
this
fast.
is also your language. This is the language of our people.
Which one, the German or the Jewish?
No, the Jewish.
Oh, that's right. Well,
You think
you
it's
got both of the most difficult
You
languages
thought it
in
was
the
a
world.
German name?
No, I know you just came from German. No, I don't know. That's Israeli German. It's all. Say something negative about Israel or about Germany. Something to kick us off this music.
Oh, I hate both of them.
Great. This is The Downside.
They don't like me either.
Good one. I fucking hate you. Okay, play a different
Oh
one.
God! Did you change that?
I knew you were
That was
gonna do
Russell's
it.
favorite band. This is The Downside.
What's happening?
Well, I'll tell you later.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
There's no shame in saying you were a fan.
I am a fan.
You are a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arcade Fire. Do you know the band Arcade Fire?
I do.
So Russell became a fan like 2 days ago out of the blue.
Yeah!
No, so it's a band, a very
Nice
good
music
band.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just something happened with the lead singer recently.
What happened?
Misconduct allegations.
Sexual misconduct allegations.
Oh, it happens to the best.
I specifically said,
Poor Russell reached out. He said, all my favorite artists.
everything gets taken from everything. And I just am having a hard time in figuring out how to like deal with that because I feel honestly I feel disingenuous pretending anymore that I'm gonna go through the whole rigmarole of no, I'm not listening. I am listening. I'm I just feel like it's one of those things where it's exhausting to have to like pretend that we're gonna do that, and you can still be legitimately upset and be like, "That's wrong," blah blah blah, like not blah blah, but like it is wrong. But also be like, it doesn't. There's so things that bring you joy in life. It's so rare. So to take any of those small things from you seems crazy to me. So
I
I'm not
think
gonna
it's
do
a
it.
great justification to stealing their music.
I agree.
You're
Yeah,
fighting.
but then there's like things like you're like, well, there's concerts, there's things, like, am I gonna be like, no, I'm not going, no, like so.
Russell came in today
and
and he
also,
said,
like, it could get worse. Like, we could record this, and then there could be way more stuff. So then you're really.
and that's why I'm not going to say when we're recording this.
You're gonna have to go to the
I'm gonna
editing
say-
board on that one. It gets worse.
I love that the guy. What happened? What was he accused of?
I really don't even want to. Like, it's like it was basic. Like
I love that you're the victim of this story.
It was, yeah. Russell is the true victim of Arcade Fire.
I love you're like, it's being taken from me.
It has been taken from. No, I've been a fan for 20 years. The thing
20
is,
years, really?
since like they were like the first thing that I was like You know, when you're like figuring out in like later high school, you're like, what am I? And
Sure.
then so few of those things stay.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the music you listen to then doesn't stay. So they're the one thing that traveled with me from then to now. So I feel like, anyways, to answer your question, it sounds like 3 allegations of hooking up with groupies. But there was a dynamic between ages.
That's not.
You know,
yeah, and
well,
there's a little
they're
like,
all of age.
There's
They're
a
all
little,
of age,
there's a
but-
little like there was some pushy. It was being
Pushy,
overly pushy,
aggressive.
and then aggressive, and then full on accusations. I mean, you got to read the article ultimately.
Yes, it's a long article.
It would be a poor choice of us to recount the
Is it
exact.
more a
Yes.
Chris
Read the
D'Elia
Pitchfork
thing
article.
or more an Aziz Ansari thing?
Well, it's somewhere in between. It's one of those things where everyone is of age, but there's you know, it's like you got to read the whole thing.
So it's like it's legal, but he's still a dick.
Yes,
Yeah, but
Seeming
no.
creepy.
But there was some stuff that was categorically assaults by their account.
Oh, that's not good.
And
Yeah.
there's one defense that he said that is a very poor defense where he's sending like it sounded like allegedly multiple dick pics without any response. So the person was saying, I did not want these, and he claimed in his apology, based on them not responding, I thought maybe it didn't go through. So he just kept sending. You know,
Different
20 dick pics in a row. Just like,
Yeah.
why won't it go through?
Yeah,
But he didn't send the same one 20 times.
It doesn't say. It
Different-
doesn't say.
All right.
I don't think it was like. I'm sure it was the same.
I mean, it's important.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think people want 3 straight men to figure this one out.
yeah, that's why I didn't
On the
want to
downside.
talk about it.
Well, Russell came in. He said, "I don't want to talk about
I'm
Arcade
so
Fire."
sad about it.
It's
And
very
I
sad.
said I didn't want to talk about it, and now you did this, didn't
Well,
you?
I had already changed
And
the
I
button.
already-
I didn't change it after you came in to say we're
I'm
not going to
just
talk
saying,
about it.
like, you know, you came in, you had horrible information to share with me. You shared that. I didn't want to know that. And then I told you I don't want to talk about that one thing because I just don't. And now what are we going to do? We're 7 minutes in. I'm so angry.
Well, we're very listen.
What are we? We're very what?
This is a good day. The podcast is going great. Our producer Paige Asachica reached out, wrote a very sweet email to me and Russell saying that we this big kind of exciting news. We have a listener.
Yeah.
We have a listener,
Yeah, we have a
and
lot of
so
listeners.
for you listening there, thank you. We have listeners. Things are going well.
Big growth.
I haven't said enough, but we have this new show on AMP, Amazon's AMP. It's a new app you can download. You can listen to Russell and me live with guests 4 to 5 p.m. EST every Tuesday. And if you can't listen to it, you can then join the Patreon, which we've reactivated. And for $5 a month, you get all our old episodes, all our bonus episodes, some of which are really great. We really do some mad shit talking on those things.
Yeah, we didn't think it was. Well, no one was listening.
No one was
at the
listening. And you will then also be able to get these episodes ad-free and the AMP episodes. You can listen to them only on the Patreon, the AMP episodes. We're interviewing Dan Savage, technically last week when you hear this.
Yes.
But it's very cool. Russell, you did have something that you wanted to share.
Oh yeah, so I officiated my cousin's wedding in upstate New York, and so it was a smaller wedding. It was at a golf course, and they basically at one point they were doing the wedding photos, and it was kind of like the person in the charge of the wedding photos wasn't like great at communicating like how long this was going to take, and so it was taking them like a really long time to do wedding photos, and it was kind of like the reception was happening and none of the wedding party was there for a long period of time because they were taking photos still. So Nicole and I went over to kind of like look from the reception to like see like what is going on, where is this wedding party, and they were out on the golf course taking these photos. And you know they're in their positions. They're all the bridegroom, and then their people. You know the what are they called? Bridesmaids. You know, groomsmen. Anyways, so they're taking the photos.
You didn't have to learn these to get your priest test?
No, you don't say bridesmaids. Anyways, so
Wait, are you a priest?
no,
What-
God, no.
What do
You
you
can
mean?
just in America, you can go online and you can sign up in like 10 minutes to officiate people.
Was there any information other than name, address? Like,
No. It's called the Universal Life Church Online.
but legally,
you have to pay some money.
How much money?
I think $75, not much.
But you then officiating it makes it legally
Yes,
binding?
except in New York City, you have to New York City, and I think Las Vegas. You have to do You have to get more paperwork at the city.
Do they do
level.
paperwork at the wedding? Like, do they sign a
Yeah,
contract?
you have to sign a thing and send
Really?
it, and you have to send it into the courthouse or the thing.
Interesting.
So, anyways, so I'm watching because I'm like, where are they? So I go and I'm watching, and we're watching them. They're all in their position getting photos, and then all of a sudden, there's like an explosion within the group. Like all of a sudden, they're running everywhere and in all different directions. And what had happened was the bride stepped on a beehive, and there were bees everywhere. They were like bridesmaids, like legs up in the air, shaking their dresses because there were bees up their
'Cause they
dresses.
got it, yeah.
There were bees. There were people running for golf carts, like little kids screaming and running everywhere. My cousin, the bride, got stung 17 times on her legs during these photos. Anyways, it was an insane. It was an insane thing to witness.
That's a go to the hospital. I mean, I don't know unless she's not allergic, but like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of stings.
Yeah, it was.
You're not enjoying the rest of your day.
Well, they were nervous that the like wedding coordinator person that it was allergic, and she got stung once, but she ended up being fine. She took Benadryl and was fine.
So people are screaming, and
Running.
you're off. You're just eating
I'm
a little
safe
like
from very far away.
weenie, just like seeing this chaos.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I watched my nephew he carried the rings down, the ring bearer, and I watched him run all the way from the thing, not looking back. Like he was just sprinting, screaming, crying. There were people picking up little kids on golf carts, like trying to get away from it. I mean, and I felt I was laughing so hard because it looked insane. Like it looked people rolling on the golf course, like trying to get away from bees. But anyways, it was a nice wedding. Beautiful. I missed that. Thankful that I wasn't there for that.
Do you feel proud of how you did do you feel you brought gravitas to it?
I think I did well.
Because you're the performer, you know?
Yeah, I think I did well.
Wait, did they still marry?
Oh, it was after. They got
Oh, it
married,
was
and then
after.
it was that happened
too bad.
afterwards. So everyone was fine. Ultimately, a very nice affair. I think I did well. I got some good remarks on it. Went smoothly, and it poured, so we had to move locations last minute, and everything went well. And the couple was probably I've done like 7 or 8 weddings now. I would say they were the most like emotional, like in terms of. I was like, oh, this is very intimate.
Really, like in the vows, or just like the moment you just
the
saw
whole wedding. They were really like, like he did the classic, like, when you turn around, you're like, turn around, look at your bride, and he did that thing where he like started crying like loudly.
That's a lot of pressure.
I know,
because for that moment, like I'd be in my head the whole time.
I know,
Not to float this out there, but especially if Tova and I were getting married and Tova like had a dress on and it was going to be I have to react to this moment.
Yeah.
She'd be looking like a hawk.
Yeah.
For exactly how I'm reacting.
Well, especially if they set it up where they want to like do the turn like thing, because if you're just like looking and you're like, it's not. There's weddings where you go and they don't build it in like it's gonna be a big moment, but this was built in, and he's not an actor. Let me tell you, this man. He genuinely felt that, and he like loudly gasped.
I don't know who would have a worse reaction, me or Tova's dad. Like Tova's dad would be kind of blank. And I would try to make it funny. I'd be like, "Oh God!" And everyone would be like, "Not funny, Gianmarco. Not the time for the jokes."
That's exactly.
It would derail the wedding.
Every time I get emotional like that, I have to get away. I have to like ironically break it off.
Yeah. Well, so thank you for sitting through all that.
Sorry.
Sure.
How are you?
By the way, speaking of your girlfriend, I think that was the tightest 5 minutes I've
Right.
ever seen someone do for her first set.
She had
very
like dabbled,
impressive.
like she had dabbled way back, but like
Wait, did she write it herself?
she worked with a friend of mine named Ariel Elias, but Tova also wrote a great deal, and
That was great.
and like did like a very. She helped me when I did for my friend's wedding, Kevin's wedding in Hawaii. I did like a set, and Tova's been really witness to like how I build. Especially a unique kind of set. It's like I figure out all the different jokes, reorder, test with friends, and she like did the whole thing, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. Go
I
ahead.
love the Rabbi Menachem.
Yeah.
Do you know that rabbi? It's
Is
the
that
real
the
rabbi.
guy on the tanks?
On the tanks?
The mitzvah. Have you seen
Oh,
those?
the mitzvah tanks. Yeah.
Oh my
the
God.
least threatening tank there is out there.
I saw it. I went insane. I was like, yo, you could never put that thing in Germany.
So I do want to. Yes, I'm very curious about being Jewish. You were born in Israel.
Yes.
When did you move to Germany?
When I was 14.
When you were 14. And why?
My mom's boyfriend is German. So
And she met him in Israel?
yeah,
It's kind of like the wrong way to go from Israel to Germany. It's kind of like the reverse.
I mean, I guess, yeah. We didn't look at it like that, but sure. Now, in retrospective, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, the place we went to was the most wrong place, like you can go to.
Sure.
We went to this my mom's boyfriend, he's German, right? And she's Israeli, and they met. They were both into youth exchange programs. They were working in that area, like sports, because my mom used to be a choreographer. She did.
What kind of choreographer?
She did. She did all kinds of choreography. I think she even studied in Dallas. She did a bunch of cheerleading stuff, and then she went into mass choreography. So she did like the Jewish Olympic Games, which is a thing.
The Jewish Olympic Games?
We got the Olympic Games. Yeah, it's called Maccabiah. It's big. Bunch of Jews come from all over the world.
I feel like I could compete in that one.
Yeah, everyone could. It's like, yeah, you're like you're over 6 feet. Yeah, you can.
Wouldn't it be amazing if I could just be in the Jewish Olympics for basketball?
Yeah.
Not having done it.
That's all.
Okay. Well, I forgot to say, you are a comedian. We've worked together.
Yeah.
It's just so people have context of this. But so your family, is it European originally? Where's your family like? How did they get to Israel?
I'm half Arab.
You're half Arab.
I have a weird family story. So my grandma's from Iraq, right?
Okay.
Yeah. My grandfather, technically Palestinian. He was born in Tel Aviv before it was Israel.
Okay.
And he died in the Olympic Games in Germany in '72.
Died in the Olympic Games.
Yeah, have you guys heard of this?
No.
Oh, so
But maybe if you talk a little more.
the Munich Olympic Games.
Oh, yeah, Munich. Oh, the movie.
Yes. No.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
The real
Based on a real. Yes.
Did you know?
Oh, the movie.
I love that movie.
It wasn't the other way around. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
they did a movie and then
That's
terrorists were
so
like,
true.
we
That's
should
so
do that in
true.
real
Yeah.
life. That would be funny.
Well, help educate me because I don't know much about it. What year was this?
This was 72.
How many people died?
11.
And your grandfather was one of them?
Yes, he was track and field athlete, head coach. He used to be an athlete and then he became coach. And
What country was he representing?
Israel.
Israel. Okay.
He was one of 11 Israelis that got taken hostage and then murdered by Arabic terrorists in the Olympic Games. Yes. People don't know about this in America, right? Not a lot.
I mean, it was just before I was born. I know my mom had mentioned it once when I was a kid.
It was big. Like it was.
Other than the movie, no. I mean,
When did that movie come
talk
out?
about it a lot. Early 2000s, I think.
Who directed? Was this a Clint
Steven
Eastwood?
Spielberg.
Oh, Steven Spielberg.
But this
Yeah.
was more about like how the Mossad dealt with the terrorists afterwards.
Yes.
So sorry. What year you said? 72.
72.
72.
And it's right now it's a big thing because in Germany it's 50 years now, right? And right now, to give it a current spin, they're doing a big ceremony in Germany of remembrance. And all the families are saying we're not going to come to the ceremony because, first of all, they want money from Germany, which they deserve.
Why? Forgive me. What? Okay, Munich. So it was in Germany.
Yeah.
Germany. Did they not provide adequate security?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not telling you the whole thing. So you got to realize, like, this was the first Olympic Games in Germany since '36, where they were a whole different country.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
So,
Wait. That was the one where who was the guy who won? Who did the Black Power fist? Like he won and Hitler was really mad.
Yeah, I remember that.
What was his
yeah,
name?
yeah.
I remember that part of it. Where like that
Yeah.
was Hitler being like, "Oh fuck, we're not the master
Yeah.
race at all."
In his face.
Yeah.
That was great. But then, not great for us. Yeah, you could have played basketball there. That would have helped.
Sure, that's back. That's back when they were wearing. What are those shoes that everyone wears? It's like no padding. Oh fuck! The shoes the like punk kids wear them now. Fuck, Russell, come on.
Why am I in charge
Crocs?
of...
No, the
Keds?
shoes.
Converse?
Converse.
Okay.
That's where like the basketball players are wearing Converse.
Chucks.
Just like, yeah, Chucks. And they just like, it looked like no athleticism was going into it.
That's right. Leathers, Chucks.
So, okay, so it hadn't been in Germany since then. And after.
And they were like, we're going to present ourselves as a new country to the world, you know? And
Sure.
Yeah, the motto of the games were the happy, the joyful games. It sounds better in German. No, it doesn't. But that was the motto, basically. And then those terrorists, right, they got into Munich. They got some help from German neo-Nazis. And the German government, they have no fucking clue how to deal with this, right? Because they don't know how to deal with terrorism. So they're clueless, and they reject any help from Israel, and they mess it up completely.
So what happened exactly? It was during the games.
During the games, the terrorists, they just went into the Olympic Village because there was no security.
Sure.
Germany didn't want to have too much security in there because, you know, they wanted to make a good impression on the world, right? And they just go in there, and it was a very unique situation because they were trying to kidnap athletes. So they got pushback from some of them managed to free themselves. Some of them even had to sacrifice themselves so others could flee.
How long were they in holding? It was like, so was it breaking news? Like someone's being held.
Not only was it breaking news, the press also shares the guilt because one of the most insane things that happened that shows that they don't know how to deal with terrorism is the German police was trying to get into the building where the terrorists were held up with the hostages, right? And you see the police officers on the roof, and the German press, they're standing outside the building and they're holding the camera and they're streaming it live on TV. So the terrorists, they just opened the TV and they're like, Mohammed, close the window, and that's it. And
Close the window.
Just close the window, and Germany was neutralized.
Jesus.
So there were so many mistakes made. The people that they sent, the snipers, all of their experience was that they went to the Schützenverein, it's called. I don't know how to translate that. So there's no, like, we have, like they went shooting on the weekend. They went hunting on the weekend. That was their qualification.
I see.
Those were the people the police officers sent to free the hostages. So it was like so much incompetence.
How long did this whole thing last?
I guess, so they took them hostage. And I think they were held up a couple of hours in the Olympic quarters. Maybe give it half a day, maybe a day almost. And then they took the hostages and the terrorists. They went to an airport at a place called Fürstenfeldbruck. It's like a village close to Munich. And there, the police tried to get the hostages, and all of them died there. The terrorists, they wanted to fly away, but they saw it wasn't happening, so they threw grenades into the helicopters that they were given, and all the hostages died. Some of them by the bullets of the German police.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, here's my funny take on this.
Oh, there we go.
So,
There's a lot.
No, so this was your mom's dad.
This was my dad's dad.
Your dad's dad.
Yeah.
So your dad is how old at this point?
He's 12.
Wow.
And he's just home, just like.
So the fucked up thing was, the German police, they went to they did a press conference and they said all the hostages are alive and well.
After they died?
Yes, and the world thought that for a whole night because there was no internet, there wasn't Twitter.
Oh my God.
You know? So everyone thought, oh, the hostages are saved. And then in the morning, they were like, nope.
What was the thinking there? Okay, now that's a little bit funny. To go out there and like someone's really pressured, like, how do I say this? How do I say this?
Well,
it's like a Michael Scott saying, I'm going to pay for everyone's college.
The thing about it, the whole thing is that it's something really sad, but also funny about Germany's thing was like, we won't have that many guards. Look at us. We're chill now. We're not going to have too many guards. We're like, we don't have a big presence of people with guns, like, you know, and then just spiraling and being like making up that lie is crazy. Cause there's what happens. What do you say that? No, we actually saved them. And then What? Like
Maybe-
a boulder
may-
fell on them? Like they're all like what? What
That's
would
big
be?
enough.
I mean,
do?
to be fair, dead Jews are also Germany's thing. So, you know, it's
Well, for Germany, this must have been quite the nightmare. I mean, this could not
I
have
think
been. This
worse,
could not have
worse
gone.
things have happened
Or-
there, but
so.
But
no,
I mean, like this is
no,
their-
it was. You're not wrong. It
with
was,
the Olympic Committee,
Yeah.
like 2
they're
strikes,
big.
you're out.
They're big
It's
comeback.
Russell, it's basically what happened to you with Arcade Fire. It's basically the same thing.
Basically the same level of
No, but you know what's even more fucked up? Listen, so why are I mentioned the families don't want to come to the ceremony, right?
Yeah.
First of all, they want damages, right? They want reparations.
What kind
from
of
Germany.
reparations are we talking about here?
Like millions. Like they want to be paid by international standards, and they deserve it. They fucking. I'm not getting any of it because my dad he didn't even pay like child support, so I'm not getting shit. I don't have a horse in the race.
Your dad's still alive, though.
Yeah.
He wouldn't give you a little bit.
I haven't talked to the guy in 20 years.
wow.
Sure,
He won't give me shit.
because you didn't know this money was coming.
Nah. God
Fuck,
damn it.
God damn,
God
they could have
damn
called a
it.
little more.
Yeah.
Um,
But so the fucked up thing is, 2 months after the whole incident, right? So three terrorists survived, and they were in German prison, and the Germans hated that. They were just like you said. They were like, we want to get rid of those guys.
they wanted to have
yeah.
them killed.
No,
Or-
not have them killed. Just fucking send them back to Lebanon or whatever. This is how Germans. They don't.
Yeah.
They didn't want it They wanted to like pretend like it never happened, which they do a lot.
Sure.
So
No, wait. Let me just say as a side note, the one thing that, at least from an American point of view of seeing Germany, like compared to America, the way that we kind of
Oh, yeah.
have hid crimes historically,
Yeah.
it feels like Germany does a little bit more owning up to it. I mean, you have a different perspective.
Not in
but
that
compared
case,
to
but yes.
America, it's like it's shocking
Yeah.
the
With the
way that
Holocaust?
we've. The fact that we have more Holocaust museums than slavery, like things that talk about the ways slaves were treated,
Yeah.
comparatively, it's insane.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
absolutely,
America and Germany are similar on this front.
I mean, Germans bitch about it a lot too, but they have a remembrance culture. I can't. I give Germans a lot of shit. Like,
please.
yeah, I mean, they deserve it. They love it too.
They like it too.
They love it. They're
Sure.
like- they love
Just
stuff.
a little bit of,
They're like,
you know.
Is that where that originated? BDSM?
Flagellate certainly sounds like a sounds like a German
The
word.
leather.
Flagellate.
It seems like German, kind of. You know?
Yeah,
It
I can
does.
see that.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
So what do you say? 2 months later,
2 months later, right? There's Luft. So they had the terrorists. Germany have they have the three terrorists.
Uh-huh.
Right? They don't like that. They want to forget about any of this ever happening. You know, they don't want to prosecute them. They just want to send them way back to wherever they came from and be done with it. 2 months after the whole massacre in the Olympic Games, a Lufthansa flight is being hijacked by terrorists of the same organization. The organization is called Black September, right? And those terrorists demand the release of the other terrorists. But the German government, turns out, already prepared all the papers 10 days before that, right? For the release of those terrorists, in case they would have to get rid of them for who knows what reason, right? And they were already offering to release, as soon as the plane is hijacked, they're like, yeah, we're going to release the terrorists, even before the people who hijacked the airplane asked for it, which is fucking weird, right?
and release them, like send them back somewhere, or just like open the door and say,
They send
Please
them,
go.
So they hand them over to the other terrorists with the airplane,
uh-huh.
and they take those people and the hostages, and they fly to Libya. So there's no hostage exchange or anything. They keep the hostages and they get the terrorists and they fly to Libya, and then a few days later they release the hostages, and it all goes over so smoothly, compared to 2 months before, where 11 Israelis just got murdered.
Sure.
With horrific incompetence. So it turns out now there's an article about this at the New York Times, right? There's new records that have been released because Germany kept records closed for this up until a few months back.
Uh-huh.
And some of them are still closed until 2047.
Isn't it crazy? We have stuff like that here too, where it's like there's some
Yeah.
kind of time period. It's just
Yeah.
crazy to be like, we're gonna let you see this, just not right now.
Privacy reasons and bullshit like that. Yeah.
Everyone involved with this needs to be dead before we let you see it.
Yeah, exactly. So what I just told you, right? None of this is like 100% proof, but it looks like Germany had some kind of how do you say a cooperation with the people who hijacked the airplane to get rid of those terrorists to a degree. None of this, there's no 100% proof.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be very careful when you say things like that. But, it looks very rotten.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if quarter of it is true, just a comparison of how they treated how they dealt with the situation when you have German hostages and when you have Israeli hostages is terrible.
Yeah.
So, when you were a little kid, like, how did they tell you about this? Did you think of your grandpa with reverence?
Everybody knew about this. It's a big deal in Israel.
Uh-huh.
Those 11 athletes.
They were kind of honored there.
Yeah.
And those families, so they're having this event in Germany to commemorate it.
Yeah.
And all the families, were they ever paid anything?
They were paid something, yes.
Do you know if it was like a lot?
It was like 4 million in total.
4 million divided by 11 families.
Yeah.
Okay.
200K person, something in the end after taxes or something. I don't know. So the families now, they demand more reparations. They also demand Germany apologizing for the incident and owning up to it, which they never done. They never acknowledged their guilt in the matter. And they demand that all the documents to be released.
And they want all three. Who runs, like, do lawyers, like, I wonder if it's like a lawyer talking to a government official.
There's two
they're
women.
Like, you get the apology and 100,000 each.
No,
and a couple of the documents.
So there's two women. One of them, her name is Anki Spitzer.
Uh-huh.
She's the wife of Andrei Spitzer, which was he was a fencing athlete, and Ilana Romano, who is I think she was the wife of I want to say Josef Romano. He was a weightlifter. And this was like their life's mission. Their whole life they've been fighting for this.
But yeah, now they're in a position of power because Germany. It seems strange that Germany announced they wanted to do a big 50th anniversary without checking that all the families were on board soon.
No, they've been fighting. Like they've been fighting for this for 50 years.
Yeah.
Those two women. Like,
but now it's getting more attention. I mean, now
Now
it
it's
seems like
getting more
there's
attention,
something
yes.
going on.
Yes.
And how do Germans feel? Are there like is like there a liberal part of Germany? It's like you should pay them, and a conservative being like, no, this wasn't our fault.
The fucked up thing is most of the German media is only focusing on the reparations thing, and they kind of presenting it low key. It's like it's a bunch of Jews wanting to get money from Germany.
Oh boy,
low key, very low key.
Yeah.
But like you're like, come on, it's more. It's about more than just the money.
Yeah.
To me, at least. To me, it is.
So okay, so you're in Israel. You have this history. You moved to Germany because your mom met someone.
And that's like that's only the one part. Like my other grandfather, he's like the only Holocaust survivor of his family. There's a lot of shit with Germany, like in my.
What? So I guess what I'm curious about is like, with all this weight with Germany, it just seems like even your mom dating a German, you're going back to Germany. Like, is there in Israel? Is there like? I guess you don't call it racism, but what would you call it? Anti-German people sentiment in Israel?
I mean, first of all, there's a bunch of racism in Israel.
Of course.
Not to
No
Germans.
doubt. But like, how do they feel about Germans? Is it like kind of like, well, none of you...
Turns out Israelis have a better opinion of Germans than the other way around. Yeah.
I will always... I did a commercial with a German film crew. And there was a German guy... that we were out to dinner.
Oh, yeah, you got a bit about that, right?
I ended up changing it for the bit, but originally we were out to dinner, and he was like what I would describe as a woke German, where he felt it necessary to apologize to me for the Holocaust.
That's not even woke there.
Yeah, but like just like it was uncomfortable. It was weird.
I know.
And I told him...
Did it come up? Or did he just like right off the bat... before dinner?
Not right off the bat, but like It was very strange because it was this German shoot. It was in German.
I know
they couldn't
exactly
find the actors anywhere, and they picked me and Jeff Solomon, 2 Jews from New York City. That was like the right tone for this commercial. And I said, and I felt uncomfortable, so I was like, "Oh, I'm half Jewish," and he was like, "No, don't ever say half Jewish. The Nazis used the term half Jewish to mean half as bad."
Yeah.
And it was very strange for a German to be telling me once again what I should do as a Jew. And I didn't know. So now I tell people I'm half not Jewish. That was my solution. But it was such a strange. It was one of those things where I'm like, this is for you and not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that you feel about this.
You're absolutely right. They're neurotic. They're fucking neurotic about
That's
it.
ironic.
Yeah.
It is. So what is that, like just a certain kind of German? Like in America, there's very much a there's like a Republican side being like, stop apologizing for our past. We have a great past. Don't think about it. And then, but in Germany, is there like a strain of like people who are like, we need to make it right. We need to apologize to every Jew we see. Like, what is it like?
No, not like that. I mean, in Germany, it's more like, let's talk less about the past.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're done now. We talked about this, which I think is a wrong way to look at it. I think it's a good thing to have this moral compass you can find in your past because I fucked up. Let's not do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that's the better way to go.
I think it's a healthier way of looking at it, but people look at it as like a how do you say, like a bad thing. It's not. I mean, it was a bad thing, but I think you can learn. You can make the best out of it instead of whining about it all the time. Mm-hmm. Right?
What do you think about how we should remember the Holocaust? It's funny. We have the 2 Jews here, and you're like, I'll let them tell me how we should remember the Holocaust.
No, I'm
just saying it seems like Germany has a lot. I know there's that beautiful monument. Where's the one with all the different levels of stones?
In Berlin.
In Berlin.
That's the one I did the project about.
What's the project that you did?
Holocaust.
What was Holocaust?
That was like that's my biggest art project. That's where all the followers are from, basically. It's not a little bit is comedy, but I had a very weird way of becoming a stand-up comedian. Unhealthy way, you could even say, because I became famous with art projects that gave me an audience that was way bigger than the level of a comedian that I was.
Sure.
I was playing rooms I wasn't ready for, and some would say didn't deserve, which I think is a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this Holocaust memorial in Berlin. It's very famous. All the tourists go there. And I noticed a lot of them do selfies there, which is, I guess it's fine to a degree, but some people would barbecue there. They would BMX there, juggle like balls and stuff. So I took those selfies. I found them online everywhere, Tinder, Instagram, Grindr, Facebook, whatever. And I photoshopped them into actual Holocaust footage.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, it was seen by 100 million people.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. Like, I became like overnight famous. Like, it was insane. Just the AJ Plus video has like 80 million views. So, and I used 12 people's pictures, and I said you can write an email to undoucheme@holocaust.de and I'll remove you. And those were people from all over the world, and within a week they all wrote me, and I just removed them.
Sure, but they must exist. People made copies and.
Yeah, but I felt like from my side, I just took it down because I liked having the project concluding.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough thing where like your point is 100% accurate. It's just those people, those pictures probably haunt them to this day.
Yeah, but they're not really recognizable in those pictures.
That's nice. Was that selective or is that just a happy coincidence?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean, you can only, most of them wear sunglasses and the angles and stuff, so, they probably only recognize themselves and, maybe 2-3 people.
I think it's very powerful. I think very often about, we're very careful in terms of media. They don't show a lot of gore on kind of national news or whatever. And I was just in Florida, and I went to a gun show. and because I was just looking for material, not guns.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's and you see all these people and this gun culture, and there's this very funny woman where she said she was selling bullet jewelry, and she was like, they don't even teach. She was selling little pocket constitutions, and she said, they don't even teach the Second Amendment in schools anymore. And
what would they?
And I said, so they just go from 1 to 3, and she was like, and I was like, well, that's too bad, but at least most of the kids are getting hands-on experience.
I really want to meet those people.
But I want to do what you like. The thing with those guns, it's like the whole thing, all the pictures and paintings of this, like they had like superheroes, like a Patriot Man or something. There's no blood. There's no bodies. The guns exist in their mind in like a video game, magical movie place where there's not guts, where there's not intestines, and I'm like, when you see these people holding guns, you're like, someone said about Sandy Hook, which you know about Sandy Hook here, that if people had seen the autopsy photos, the gun debate would have changed immediately because they're so fucking, they'll throttle your brain.
You think that's true?
I don't know if that's true, and I do think people get like used to imagery.
There's historical examples too. Think of Emmett Till. Like, remember the mom demanded that his body be shown, and it had a huge impact on that fight. And so I do think there's historical things.
I don't think
happening.
any of this is going to make a difference.
I mean, a cynical part of me agrees with you, but another part of me thinks that it is. I can't imagine how horrifying it is. So
part of me thinks like if you were an activist going to a gun show, if I was not a comedian actually trying to make a good positive change in the world, like going to these shows with like, in my mind, it's like pictures of victims of gun violence. As I see the little kids holding a rainbow gun that their parent is going to get them, and you just throw in the air these horrifying pictures, like that feels like
it's like Hamas.
Yeah,
it's like those people are so anti-Islamic terrorism, but they have so much in common. Yeah, it's like little kids.
I know. I see
little
what you're
kids
saying.
that do gun shows. That's like Islamic terror bullshit. But
holding the Bible, holding the thing, and you're like, this is the. Yeah.
It's the same thing. But I think it's not because I don't think I think public opinion has no impact on gun laws.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and look, everything I say is like outsider bullshit.
No,
I'm not
for sure.
here. I don't know how it is, but I feel like this whole country is being taken hostage by a gun lobby.
Sure, but you go to these places. I mean, one of the reasons I think it's good, like now that I've been touring with the South more and going to places like the gun show, is it does eradicate the thought in my head of like, oh, you're not gonna stop these people from getting into guns. These people will die before. This is not just they want guns. This is their whole culture.
Identity.
This is their whole identity. This is their T-shirts. This is their pants. This is their truck. This is their weekends. And it more just teaches you like, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but it does make it seem like it's childish to be like, oh, we're really going to take this away from them.
I mean, not from them, but from the future, from their kids, I think they just got into it and it was so easy to get into. So maybe they would have gotten into plants or into bonsais, and they would have been the same person, but with a bonsai instead
Well, that's
of a
why
gun.
I think you got to come with a distraction. I think get people into like kung fu. I think like get men back into like martial arts.
That's so much more work for them. You know what I mean? They're lazy.
Well, that's
like,
the thing.
Not they're lazy, but
I do think I see a lot of people at the gun show where they're overweight, but sometimes they're missing limbs. But sometimes they're missing and I mean overweight in the sense of like
wait, sometimes they're missing wait, what do you
But I'm saying like this is in the sense of like these are people who in terms of like being like this might be the way they feel powerful. This is the only way they feel strength.
Yeah.
This is the only way they feel safe. Again, I'm not defending
and
any of
there's
this.
a community.
But
it's a huge identity in huge pockets of communities.
And I'm not saying overweight to be. I want to say it in the sense of like when I see people like or they're missing limbs where I'm not going to go up to someone with no legs and say, give me your gun. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, I see how this is a way to be like, well, now they might feel safe or powerful. And it's just noticing at this group, there's a bunch of people who couldn't get away from a fight really easily who are getting into guns.
Yeah, but legless people are not the problem here, right? You don't hear a lot of school shootings by legless kids. You know, it's not.
Yeah, Gianmarco.
It's like
do you want to follow
No,
up
but-
with
but
that?
they're going to shoot up a school, but there's no like wheelchair ramp for them to get in.
Yeah.
But no, like that's the only argument that I think, from what I heard, that is like that makes sense. Oh, I see. That's a reasoning I can at least understand. But I never meet those people. We're all like, because is it true you guys sell guns at Walmart?
I think they
At
do
least-
in
at
some
least
of these places.
they used to.
Well, this kind of place, like, sure, this is another one where it's like you're going to pass more gun restrictions or more background checks. And I'm like, going to this festival, anyone can get into this thing and they can go buy the gun. They could go steal a gun at this thing like that. It would be easy. Yeah. I stole 3.
You did?
No, my God.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not touching these fucking guns. I'm trying to figure, like, I'm like, even if I was trying to stop a mass shooter, my aim's so bad they think I was an accomplice.
You know what's insane? Like, every child can get a gun here. You know that...
But I think the law is 18, 21?
18, I think.
Yeah, but like, it's so easy to get a gun, but you know that they're not... I don't know. You know how many toddlers shoot their parents?
Yeah.
Or themselves.
Or
a lot.
yeah.
A good amount.
Lots of murdering babies out here.
Yeah.
But like, you know that the Kinder Surprise egg is illegal in America?
The what?
The Kinder Surprise egg, you know what that is? The
No,
chocolate egg with a surprise inside?
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because it's too dangerous for kids.
Listen,
Isn't that insane?
Doesn't make any sense.
you know what's so funny? We've been talking, like, this is probably one of our more serious episodes. We talked about history and not gun laws.
I'm
and, like,
sorry, let's talk about
No,
comedy.
it's great. I just think it's interesting where, like, I think about people how like Joe Rogan gets in trouble all the time, and it's like part of it's just because he doesn't know a lot of things. And so as we talk about history, you could say anything about history, almost anything. And Russell and I don't know who's smarter about history, you or me, but I think we're both like
I saw Munich in theaters.
I feel like we both know that, you know, Britney Spears released an audio track last night on YouTube, but we don't know anything
know
about. Oh, you didn't know that?
Wow,
Well, I'll tell you
Wait,
later.
she did? What's going on with Britney?
She she like released like a long audio track on YouTube, and then it was taken down, and it was just about her conservatorship and all that stuff. But I'm saying, like, I know that,
Yeah.
and I don't know fucking anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know a lot about America. I mean, I think I know.
You probably know more about America than
I
I
know
know
way-
about Germany.
yeah.
Who replaced Angela Merkel?
Oh God.
I mean, me
Oh,
neither.
no, but
Me
nobody
neither.
knows. Nobody knows that in Germany too. That guy
Merkel
is so
was a big
random.
deal.
Merkel was a big deal because she was hanging out
Oh,
with
he's
Obama,
like-
and we were all like,
yeah.
"Oh, you're cool."
Oh,
yeah, the
they're
fun
cool,
world
Obama,
leaders,
they're
the good
friends.
world
Yeah.
leaders, the good empire people.
Yeah, no, I mean Merkel. She was just there.
There were some good pictures of her next to Trump being like,
There was an
Yeah,
SNL impression.
she
of
was
her,
the king
so-
of like passive aggressive.
"Our history
gifts.
is based off SNL."
Yeah,
That's what it
if
is.
there's an SNL impression, we kind of know who
We had
they
the most
were.
liberal
Yeah.
education of all time.
Yeah.
What, the Merkel one?
Yeah, well, I was saying like because
Yeah.
there was an impression, you're like, oh, we have more of a.
I mean, our
Knowledge.
new chancellor. He's kind of like a Joe Biden
Mm-hmm.
type of guy. Like no profile, just
Yeah.
like it's
is
fine.
he that old?
Huh? No, he's like a teenager in comparison. But
he's like in a 65. He's a teenager compared.
man, you guys give Biden a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Poor man.
But we need to.
Huh?
Yeah.
We need to.
I know, but I feel like Biden has done good to you guys. You guys needed to relax.
It's sure you hear that, everyone listening. You hear that people are having their votes suppressed. Relax.
What,
Relax.
vote suppressed? What are you talking?
I'm just saying, no world leader should have it easy. I think we should be tough on all these
Yes.
people.
Oh yeah, no
relentlessly.
shitting. No, of course you're right.
Yeah.
But so how do you feel as a Jew in Germany? I mean, you clearly deal the art that you had in the past was very engaged in this. The other thing that you're interesting was you, if I'll just break it down, tell me if I'm summarizing correctly.
course.
You found on Twitter was a lot of hate speech on Twitter. Horrible stuff.
Yeah, we're not talking about jokes here.
Yeah, we're
Just
not talking
like
about
really,
jokes.
like-
We're not talking about
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
And you would report some of these to Twitter, and they wouldn't get back to many of them. And once in a while, they would get back and say this didn't violate our rules, and they were brutal. So you went to Twitter's headquarters.
Well, they got back to me with zero
Or
times.
they just never
zero
respond.
time.
Yeah.
So you went to Twitter's headquarters, and thinking about it, you probably are familiar with some of Russell's work on Twitter. You
You throw me. You know I don't tweet.
It's just my retweet.
You could be.
Yeah.
You look a little bit like you could be like the Tim Dillon of this podcast.
Jesus.
Do you
Did I
get
tell?
that a lot?
I get.
You say it. I think I just posted on Instagram.
I get. I've gotten multiple times. People have thought in ways where you're like, okay, I'm at a comedy show and they think it's Tim Dillon. Like I one time went to see Gianmarco and they thought Tim Dillon was popping in.
The funniest though is if Russell, if
Yeah.
you were a badass, you would have been like,
I'd be like,
yes, I'm Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
I'd like to go on,
Just go up,
and you would have
start
bumped
screaming.
me.
Yeah.
You would have bumped me. They
I
would
would've
come to me and say, you got to feature Tim's here.
That is funny. And then just the other night, I went to Gianmarco's birthday party and we were out for drinks afterwards. And I get on the subway and someone comes up to me and they're like, "I'm so sorry to bother you." And I'm like, "This is weird." And they're like, "But are you Tim Dillon?" I was like, "No," and they're like, "You're dressed like him," and I was like, "Okay." You know,
That
like
is so
adding
funny.
insult to injury. I was like, "Okay, just keep it moving." And then one time on Instagram, I got tagged in this weird account that was like, is there a difference between Russell Daniels and Tim Dillon? Also, I'm not a famous person. So I was like, it must have been someone listening to this podcast who knew who I am.
Get ready.
And then was like, put pictures of me and Tim Dillon next to each other being like, are they the same person?
You
I'm
should.
not
You
Tim
should
Dillon.
go. You should go do mics here.
I know.
We should. If we leaned into this, let me tell you, if we just posted a picture of you and we said we had Tim Dillon on the podcast, we'd have more listeners than we've had combined previously.
Okay, I'll study up on
Russell,
him and then we'll do
Russell,
one. I'll do one in character
I
as
would
Tim
kill
Dillon.
to look like Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, why?
Just to get some.
You look
spots.
like a younger Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah,
There
if I
is-
get fat and old, I will finally someone will put me up in this fucking
Sure,
city.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Twitter.
So you did this thing, but
I did this thing. You know what was the funny thing? I was on CNN, right? And they were like, "Don't you think this is a anti-freedom of speech?" And I'm like, "I can't even say shit on your show. What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, this is again very, very. It's like these social media companies; they're too big. Part of it's like they're too big.
I'm not saying it should be removed. I mean, do some. I mean, deal with it a
I
little
agree,
bit.
but all I know is that dealing with TikTok on the other end of things, which is like much more censorious, has
fuck.
been the experience of like.
Yeah.
Not good here either, because like they'll remove stuff that's insane, and then there's just different
I
degrees.
fucking hate it. Yeah, because TikTok is the only fair algorithm. Like it gets as fair as it gets, you know, when it comes to videos.
Whichever one I'm doing well on is the fairest in my opinion.
Well, you're doing the best on TikTok, right?
It used to be way back in the day, but not anymore. These days it's YouTube Shorts.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm getting in there. Yeah, but so it's terrible. I hate it that the fucking algorithm tells me I'm behaving hateful.
Sure, but isn't that the thing that in a way you if I say Hitler in a joke or like
but people
describing
are
how my
pretending
co-host
like
acts?
when I did it, that's what I want. That's not what I want, obviously. But I mean, it's an issue that needs to be dealt with. I'm not saying I didn't say like delete everything every
Sure.
time someone writes Hitler because I'm the like if that was
That's your hook.
Yeah, that's my thing. You know, I get my shit gets taken down constantly on TikTok, and I hate it. It's terrible.
Yeah, I have too many Hitler jokes. What can be tough, this like Hitler, 9/11, sometimes you'll be on a show, like a showcase show, and all of a sudden I'm the fourth comic bringing up Hitler. And you're like, geez, I did one show where I was the fourth comic bringing up 9/11. And it's the same way where like all these like cis guys like want to make some kind of trans joke. Sometimes it's not necessarily a transphobic joke, but at a certain point it's like, why are you all talking about this?
Yeah.
I don't
This
have a
thing
lot
that
of
has nothing to do with like your
I don't talk a lot about Judaism on stage.
Sure.
I talk about being an Israeli, which is a whole different thing. And sometimes I will talk about things where I don't think the essence of it is Judaism or being a Jew or necessarily the Holocaust. Like I have this bit about like how I did it in your show, about how Auschwitz has 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor, which is true and hilarious. And I let even people read the reviews, right? And
What do they say? Like, what are they?
horrible customer service. This one guy was like, he couldn't find a way. He said, like, his GPS didn't work, so he was like, he wrote, and I swear this is true. He was like, you have to be lucky to get to the camp. And I'm like, that's not accurate. or like shit, like stuff that is right, but just the context. Like someone wrote not handicap friendly, and I'm like, that's not wrong.
Oh my god,
it's hilarious, right?
Oh man,
Yes,
Oh,
but
man.
But the funny in this is not the Holocaust necessarily.
No.
It's a part of the premise. It's a part of the setup. But the funny thing is how people behave on the internet. It's a bit about the internet and how abstract the internet turns things into, and how they lose context. So, yeah. So, but I try, especially when I mean, when I do it in English, I'm more free. But I told you before that we started, I don't like. Everything that has to do with Jews in Germany, I strictly avoid because I can't. There's only 4 of us left in there, and it's like
It really is like though. Like there's not a lot of Jews in Germany.
well, no, for obvious
Well,
reasons.
of course, but I mean, like you know,
So like we don't have mitzvah tanks. We don't have. we don't have.
There's no Hasidic communities.
It's insane here. Like
Do you like it? Do you feel, oh, my people?
a little bit. I mean, I know those are not because there's a huge difference between Jews and Israelis. Like we're Israelis are different. We're Middle Easterns, and you guys are whiny. No offense.
No, sure.
No, but like it's different.
Yeah.
No, I like Jews, but it's a whole different culture. But still, it's amazing to see here.
Do
So-
you
and it
guys
feels normal.
judge? Do you guys have like jokes about American Jews being whiny? Like, is that a thing?
Oh yeah.
What do you say about us?
Shit. I mean, I can imagine that there are. I'm sure that they are, but I don't know because we don't have them in Germany, but I'm sure Israelis make fun of you guys all the time.
Sure.
Um,
Like my girlfriend and I, we both fit kind of the profile of like hypochondria. She's got
are
allergies.
you, I didn't feel any Jewish.
What do you think, Russell? Be honest. Do you?
Oh yeah, I think you fit some of the big ones. You know,
What are they?
You were naming them, and I'm saying yes. You have hypochondria. Yes,
I'm neurotic.
you're neurotic.
I do this. I'm just
Yeah,
neurotic.
that's-
There's just a neuroses
yeah,
and
that's
a
your
over
yeah, yeah.
questioning and a stress, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's when I saw you were Jewish. Like this little
Yeah.
hand gesture,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is almost Italian.
I think it's a mix, but I think like, and I wasn't raised very religiously, but I think like
But
my
all of
mom's.
those, I wouldn't even say cliches. Cliches sounds negative, but all of this culture, none of it is in Germany. Like, if I did jokes about Jews being neurotic in Germany or like pastrami, nobody would get it. We had this when I had a TV show on German public TV, right? And we had this sketch. It was about, I got this manager. And his name was Ari Schlomberg, and he was like this Jewish Hollywood agent. And he would send me like, I did like a gig in a kindergarten, and I did one in an elderly home. That was a lot of fun. But before that, he would always call me in, and it was a friend of mine, one of my co-writers, and she did an incredible like Jewish Hollywood agent impression. But nobody appreciated it in Germany because they didn't get it, and it's fucking hilarious. But nobody got it there.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it was tragic too. But yeah,
The worst things the Germans have ever done to the Jews.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to get so deep in that. I'm just so
No, feel
fascinated
free.
because I remember. I just feel like I don't know. There's a degree of I haven't had to deal with much anti-Semitism in my life, and it's like trying to appreciate. I went on a date with someone from Brussels once, and she was Jewish, and she told me that at least in Brussels, she said, "Oh, I don't bring up I'm Jewish on the first date because then it will be the last date." And I was like, Jesus Christ, really? And I've just, it's just the bubble I live in. I live on the East Coast. But recently, I've talked about this, I think, where I've done 3 shows in the South where on stage I go, I'm Jewish, and someone goes, ugh, from the audience. And they do it in a joking way, but you shouldn't say that just to me saying I'm Jewish. That's not good.
Yeah.
all right. So in a nutshell, the place I moved to Germany to the East German countryside, right? And this little village where we were at, it had like the Nazi party, which is a thing. They had 13% there, which is a lot. And the mayor of this, the local Nazi. I need to show you guys that guy. Do you have?
I can pull it up on my phone. But tell me, understand, because we have neo-Nazis, but it's like
I got chased by neo-Nazis every week when I came to Germany.
What are your neo-Nazis like? Because our neo-Nazis, it feels like it's not connected to Germany. It's kind of
they're
like
terrible. They can't even get the Hitler salute with the right hand. They're terrible.
Yeah.
That's a very funny critique.
But it's
you're doing this all wrong.
Doing it all wrong.
9.
Yeah. No, but German neo-Nazis, like one of my biggest videos on TikTok, which they keep taking down, is I did a Bob Ross impression.
I saw this. What
I
did you do?
a tutorial of how I explain neo-Nazis how to paint a swastika correctly. And I got the whole...
Were they doing the wrong swastika, like the good swastika, where it's like it means
they
peace
can't get
or
it
whatever?
right. No, they just can't get the swastika right.
They're doing the angles all wrong.
Yeah,
They're making them acute.
I'm serious. There's countless examples of this. Just Google swastika fail or something.
Unfortunately, it is like a kind of design. Like sometimes I'll see some kind of circular designs, and you're like, I've been like doodling once in a while,
just an
and I'm
S?
just doodling lines, and then I'm like, curve this one really quick.
Yeah. No, it's easy. It's like an S and then another S.
Like SS.
Yeah, exactly.
is
It
that-
all makes sense now. Right? No, so I did like a Bob Ross, like, Zigal, everybody, welcome back. And like, it's like...
How do Germans think about... I used to have a bit way back where I said, like, when we had the Nazis here, what a great rebranding opportunity for Germany.
Yeah.
That now when you think Nazis, you're going to think America first. And that was because Trump was saying America first at the time. How did Germany view this, like, reappropriation in a way of, like, Nazi culture, I guess?
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
I'm just saying, like, the neo-Nazis here don't give a fuck about Germany. It's kind of weird. It's just such a weird thing where, like, it's been around so long in America now, there's almost like a version of Nazis that has nothing to do with Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it reminds... I was in, like, in the east of Germany, and I did a show the other day, and I went past a trailer, and they had, like, a Confederate flag.
Yeah.
And it was obviously a Nazi in there, and I was like, wow, they're really, like, worldly, considering they're Nazis, right? there's some kind of an alliance, but they don't... Yeah,
Look, I see a Nazi coming over, seeing the Confederate flag. I didn't know you were so cultured.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
like, because most Germans will probably not know what that is.
But in Germany, it's illegal to write a swastika. What's illegal in Germany?
It's illegal to have a swastika flag, which it should be here too.
Sure, but that's the difference with us. I mean, we have lots of debates about Confederate flags. You will never see America make Confederate flags illegal. That's never going to happen.
No, not
here.
a Confederate, but a swastika.
Sure.
A Nazi flag, not a Nazi flag, should not be legal. It's illegal to say shit. That's what that was the context in the CNN thing. It's illegal to say shit on TV. Not illegal. It's like it's not allowed.
You get sued. They cut you off immediately.
Yeah, but you can wave like a Nazi flag. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's an insane priority, in my opinion. I don't know.
Sure. Oh, I think there should be cursing on the news all the time. I'm a big advocate. I hate... Trump said, grab them by the P word. And you're like, what are we doing? Who is this for? Tell your kids to stop watching the fucking TV. I don't know what to tell you.
Grab them by the pussy and then wave the swastika flag. You know, it's just
what's the thing you want me to look up that you said there's these...
Let me put it in. Let me show you. This is the guy. This was the neo-Nazi in the village that I grew up in. And just the fact that you can Google him. Check out this guy.
Oh my God. Can you imagine having this mustache in?
Oh, that hair. It's like he did the combo of the Confederate and the Hitler.
Yeah.
He's like, I will do the Confederacy and... Oh, man.
Yeah.
You have to put that photo in. You have to edit that
This
in.
will be the... We'll have him on the podcast next. It's...
This guy was like, he was a football coach. He was teaching little kids when we got there. And he was also, how do you say, a chimney cleaner? The guy who cleans a chimney?
Sure.
He works for, that position is for, you're working for the government in Germany.
Okay.
There's enough chimneys.
Huh?
I don't know if we have enough chimneys in America.
We got.
We definitely don't have
we're
government.
not been around as long enough.
No, they got a bunch of
government-funded chimney.
No, they got a bunch in Germany because they had to do a lot of burning back then. But I'm sorry.
My God.
But and that guy cleans them now, and we had to let him into our house. You know.
You had to let him.
Yeah, weren't even allowed to put the fire on while he was in there.
Oh my god!
But yeah, and then my mom. But now he's dead now. He got COVID. Yeah, he didn't believe in COVID, but COVID believed in him.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty incredible. Just the things that go together.
yeah.
Oh, you're a Nazi and you're a COVID denier? How interesting.
Yeah.
That these two wildly different beliefs don't have anything to do with each other.
But
Adolf would have been
they-
vaccinated the same way Trump was vaccinated. But like, I just don't see the degree of just being like, we don't believe in these two things. Maybe.
Oh, it's so. I think like the COVID deniers are skeptic of the government. Skeptical of the government.
but it's a mix of like they're skeptical of the government, but they
then
have absurd
love it. Like,
patriotism.
they also like when Trump was in it, they love
Patriotism
like,
of a different state.
Take away. Yeah,
They don't believe, like, at least in Germany, they don't believe in the democratic state the way it is. They're like, there's an underground, what do you call it, dark state or whatever?
Deep state.
A deep state. And in Germany, it's like the German, they believe that you guys are still running shit. America. And Germany never became a real country.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't they realize that we're so fucked up? No one's running. There's no. That's the thing of these secret organizations. I'm like, we can barely do anything functionally. This idea that there's a secret
To
organization.
believe the Jews run the media, like we'd have better PR if we did. We're terrible at it.
So,
But yeah, so like to get back to your date, like I had to, like, I got chased.
I never got back to her, so let's get
Oh,
back
yeah.
to her. You do it.
But I got chased around by neo-Nazis like the first 5 years in Germany, like on a weekly basis.
Wow.
Did you
Everybody
carry
was-
stuff with you to defend yourself? Like,
No. To defend myself.
Leah, were you scared? I mean, it sounds scary.
Were these neo-Nazis the same age as you or older or?
Yeah, all kinds of ages. Yeah.
Oh wow, and
All
multiple
shapes and
like
sizes.
they were.
Yeah. And man, I remember I got in so much trouble for like being a public person, like just joking about Nazis, just making fun of Nazis. Like my mom she had to have a police car parked in front of her house for 3 weeks just because I made fun of Nazis.
Yeah.
So it's different. And it's weird, especially to me, because look at me, I'm a white man now, but I wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was when I grew up.
Sure.
So now I'm like a white privilege, and I am.
And you have blonde hair too.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
mean,
like,
you
I'm
could have
half,
passed.
Yeah, I'm half Arab. It's so weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
But I get it too. I get white people. I don't have like the same. I don't experience the same racism as other people do.
Sure.
It's people I grew up with, they experience a whole different kind of racism and discrimination than I did, just because they're. But we grew up in the same culture and we're from the same place and we speak the same language, and it's it's very weird. Like I'm very confused about my identity.
And do you think, because Germany is going through, it seems like from afar, a similar thing with America of like these hate movements are becoming bigger and more infiltrated into the government, and like is it a scarier time? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel things are going? Because I think it's a both example of you guys had more, I think, censorship in terms of like we didn't ban flags or anything or any symbols, but it seems just as bad for both of us.
I wouldn't call it censorship. I mean, but
it's not going. It's not working. Is my bigger point is like, it's amazing how even if you teach it in history class, even if you do all these things, like everyone's unhappy. Everyone's unhappy with the government, and that seems to somehow fester itself into some of these movements.
I think to a degree it's a part of our society that we have to accept, right? There's always racism, there's always hateful. I mean, we never should accept it, right?
Of course.
But it will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I wouldn't call it censorship. There's stricter hate laws. Some stuff like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. Like it's forbidden to deny the Holocaust in Germany,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how I feel about that.
Even as a concept, that like laws don't get passed like that in America, to my knowledge. That like it's forbidden to say, like in Germany, if you stood in the center of a town and said, "I don't think the Holocaust happened," would you be arrested on the spot? Would you be fined?
You will be fined. Yeah, you won't be like nobody's
kind of
gonna
fine are
take
you
you
talking
away.
about,
I don't know. Never
it
did it. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I pulled off a lot of like, I did so many Hitler salutes on German TV, all of them jokingly. Like,
Of course.
it's not like they're going after comedians. It's not like they're TikTok.
Sure. I got it.
But yeah, some things. I mean, America's very freedom. Like freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it has its like sometimes it's too much,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just the right amount.
Well, I just think with the internet, people like go like freedom of speech, and like the internet has just complicated things in a way that you're foolish to just be like, no, it's the exact same. The way we have to treat the internet has to be slightly different because the ability for it to hurt people is immense.
And it's even like, I mean, we have freedom. Do we have freedom of speech on the internet, or is it decided by algorithms?
Of course.
Right. And there's also freedom of speech. Just meaning you're allowed to say something is different than being heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because those algorithms decide who gets heard.
Facebook, it's all like the stuff that does the best is like things that get you mad.
Yeah.
I know sometimes I put up a joke that I know will piss off people, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
this is going
I
to
have
get a
so
lot of
many-
engagement.
Yeah.
I stopped uploading stuff because I have like thousands of views on my comedy there, but it just shows it to people that hate me.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
It's terrible. I got I got a couple thousand angry Tunisians that have been shitstorming me for months now.
What did you say about that?
I did a crowd work thing, right, in Berlin. I was talking to a guy who was from Tunisia, and I'm like, what do you do here? And he was trying to be smart, like, I work here. I'm like, you better be, right? So
Sure.
yeah, but he knew, like, the room knows I'm from Israel, like I'm a migrant too.
Yeah.
So everybody's laughing, right? And I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a data scientist. I'm like, that's perfect. The Germans are gonna love that. Whatever makes them happy, right? And I keep going, and whatever makes Hans happy, I say. And then at some point we go back to that, and he's like, I say something. He's like, I want to make Hans happy. Like he calls back my thing, and I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. You're upsetting him just by being here. Right? And it gets laughs and everything, but I upload it on the internet, and people are like, you Nazi. How dare you? He's a Tunisian scientist. They're so proud of their scientist.
Sure.
He's a data scientist. How dare you, you German white Nazi, right? And I'm like, and this was the mistake. I'm like, guys, it's fine. I'm not German too. And they're like, where are you from? I'm from Israel. And they're like, that's not better. They did not like that at all. They were like, that's not a country. So that makes
That's very funny. Guys, that's okay. I'm from Israel. The country we all feel unequivocally good about right at this moment.
I don't know what I was thinking.
All right, let's move on to our segment.
This has gotta stop.
This has got to stop. Do you have a This has got to stop for us?
Oh, I got a bunch of them. I mean, how many do you want?
Whichever feels juiciest at the moment.
Okay, when can I whine about the New York comedy scene?
Ooh.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get to that.
Okay,
soon?
we can.
I
we
got a
could dabble.
small one. This has got to stop.
What's your overall about the New York comedy scene?
Oh, it's very hard. But no,
Sure.
I need more than that. But this has got to stop. The way you write emails in America, and I mean all America.
For a second, when you said the way you write emails, I was like, watch it. But what do we do?
All American.
every single one.
Okay, what do we do?
I will write an email with, like, let's say 3, 4, no matter how many questions, and Americans will only answer one.
I agree with you. That's an American thing, though?
Yes. You treat emails like it's Facebook Messenger, and it's not. It's fucking horrific. You can't communicate to people. You have to work. You have to work with people, and you ask them. It doesn't matter how long the email is. You get one sentence. One sentence. Why? It's killing me. I see you guys are on board with this, but it's terrible.
Well, I'll write Russell. I'll say, hey, how you doing? Are you available for a podcast next week? Could you also get back to me about the dates for the rehearsal? And he'll reply, good. And I'll say,
doesn't it
Russell,
make you angry?
No.
Oh, it makes you no.
Oh no, that's not what happens.
No.
I will thumbs up individual things, and then I'll do it in the email.
You've got a way better at email. You're not a bad emailer, but I do know what you mean. Where I have learned recently, you cannot ask. Chris, our friend from the sketch team, would agree with this wholeheartedly, but he hasn't changed it. You can't ask more than one question in an email sometimes.
Yes.
I'll always answer them back. I'll go do bullet points, or with like my agents or manager, sometimes they'll highlight things, which would feel condescending, like interpersonally, to highlight an email to you, being like, remember this shiny light over
I
here.
do think the bullet points thing is good, though.
Yeah.
You know.
but I in Germany it's not a problem, is what you're saying.
No,
It's just Americans.
Germans will write detailed emails.
What do they say about
We got
Germany?
our email
The trains always run on time.
Yeah,
Is that from
that's
the Holocaust?
not true. But
Is that where it comes
they
from?
ran on time when it came to killing Jews. But
Sure.
Now, not anymore.
Now not anymore.
No,
Better than
terrible.
our trains.
Yeah.
Ja-
What? You
Japan
guys have
is
trains?
the one that has the subway.
Yeah.
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 Japan is the one where they're like if the train's
Oh, I
late,
loved
they
it.
print out a note,
Yeah.
so you can show the employer,
I
and they
love
go on
Japan.
TV and they say, "We're so sorry."
Have you been to Japan?
No, I just see it. I mean, they look very crowded. You know, at least you
gotta
see
go.
the worst.
No, it's not true. The long distance trains, no, they're great. They're called Shinkansen.
I love trains. I would love to be on trains instead of planes any day of the week.
Oh, I mean, look, when I toured through Germany, I only take the train.
Yeah. When I toured Europe, I did the trains. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
I barely flew in
You did
Europe.
Europe? When did you do Europe?
After I graduated college, and I did.
Oh, you mean for comedy? No.
No.
no
Just
college.
just
You
like
just
3
did-
months. I did Hamburg, Berlin,
Hamburg,
and then Munich. Hamburg is the one when we had Daphne Springs. Very good episode. I talked about the
Oh, I heard of her
the
from
lesbian
Clubhouse.
show
Yes.
that I went to.
Yes.
And then
You went to a lesbian show in Hamburg? I was in Hamburg 2 days ago.
oh yeah, did you
Wow.
see Michelle?
Michelle?
That's a joke. I'm just saying. Yeah, I saw the lesbian show. It was no, it was they were sex workers, but then I was too scared of STDs.
Oh, yeah,
so
there's
I
like
had
a red
sex
light
show.
district.
Well,
in
wait,
Hamburg.
but what's your This Guy Stop about New York comedy scene?
Huh?
Your
Yeah.
This Is Guy Stop about the New York comedy scene.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, paid open mics, I think. I mean, no, come on. No, it's not. Yeah, I think it has to stop.
Okay, let me try to count it. 'Cause- okay, I hear what you're saying. I think the problem with New York, there's too much. There's too many comedians here. There's
It's
way too many shows.
oversaturated, yes.
No one comes to open mics anyway, and the bars say, you know, the people who run them. I used to pay for mics, and I didn't mind paying for them if they were decent enough, because that's how hard it is to get stage time. It's just a matter of the economy.
All
But what
right.
do you?
All right, so Gianmarco, I think whatever I'm gonna say now is like there's a lot of frustration in it, so it's not like completely. Objective.
I don't care about anything.
No, but
in
I'm
the
just
comedy
so
scene.
everybody knows. Like I'm from, and our scene is different in Berlin. It's different. It's
a
like
lot less juice.
less Jews, which is great. Yeah, I'm special.
Sure.
No, but we have a lot of audience. We have way more audience than comedians. Where
Sure.
you guys have the opposite, which I'm not familiar with. But man, it's just getting on stage here, and the things you have to do. Because when I'm on stage here, I feel great. I think. I mean, I had fun in your show. I think it went great. I don't know what you think. Like I don't know how you think I did, but I think I did great. And I think I did great in a lot of shows here. And some I didn't, but
That's
like,
not what
nobody-
matters, though. If you're thinking like, oh, is New York not being more friendly because I'm not good enough? That's not. That's
the problem
a
is nobody
fraction.
watches.
No one watches. No.
Nobody watches, and then I'm in my head like, why are they not booking me again? Like, am I, like, is it, you know? And I had like clubs that I reached out that I did the last time, and they didn't come, they didn't get back to me first, and I was like, why are they
course.
not? And then I followed up, and I had some friends talking to them, and then they reached out, and it turned out they haven't even watched the tape. They weren't there.
No.
Yeah, but it gets in my head.
Sure, but if you knew the clubs that like you thought were being rude to you, don't respond to me, and I've been living here and working and doing shows there for free.
Oh, that would
and-
make me feel great.
Oh, sure, but I'm saying like that. It's brutal. It's brutal, and like for a visitor, that first visit can be really nice. But the moment you've come here too soon after the first time, the club's like, oh, we're not giving you that special spot.
Yeah.
I never got the special spot in the first time.
Sure.
There was a special spot to be had?
No, it just depends. I mean, also it's like, I think there's a degree of if you were from America, they would go, if you were from Los Angeles or Atlanta or Houston or Austin, they go, oh, let me give him a spot because one day I'm going to be in Austin and he'll give me a spot in his
Yeah.
thing. Not a lot of people are going to Germany.
Yeah, I know.
So there's a degree of like,
and also, I think they're
Shahak
like...
Shapira, what?
Yeah. Yeah, and also they're like, he's like here for a week. Who gives a shit? Like, we can't build a lasting relationship.
Sure.
On the other hand, honestly, I can't afford being here longer than that. I have to work because I make money with German comedy mostly and English comedy in Germany, but I can't make money here. It's illegal to pay me, literally.
Yeah.
And but it's
Don't worry,
it's
we're not
also-
going to give you anything for this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm relaxed now, but it's a ego check because like, look, I'm not a German superstar, but I have a good career there. I'm
Yeah.
like I tour, I play rooms of like 300, 400, 500 people. I had a TV show like I have credits there. I've been doing this for a while. And I'm pretty decent at it, and here I have to beg people for like to play in a show with 20 people, and I appreciate it. It's not like that.
Yeah, no, you don't come off as you're not being ungrateful. I know it's
But
brutal.
I feel like, come on, man. Just I want some places I would love to have a shot at, like at least a shot.
Sure, I just think New York, you got to fucking like be here for a long.
I
you
know,
you
I know, but it's like impossible. I can't.
I know.
I can't. I'm not illegal. You know how hard it is to get a visa here. It's even that, like, and I'm looking into it, but it's like even that process is like 6 months, and it's a couple $1,000s, and so I'm just basically I'm performing in Germany to pay to be able to afford this.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's a big risk. Like, I can't just... If I come here, I throw away my livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
On the off chance that I have a chance here. But I don't know because I can't perform here to get a feeling for it. It's... Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like just standing on stage should not be that hard. And I get the reasons, like, the more longer I'm here, the more I understand. Like, I'm like, oh, those guys actually get 100 emails a day, those bookers.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like bullshit when they tell it to you, right?
No. Oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, no. I just understand the frustration. I'm just like, your frustration is not different from my frustration, and
Yeah.
I live here, and it's just oversaturated.
Yeah, but you don't realize that at first. You write people here, and they're like, they don't get back to you. Like, we can't do
No,
anything
they
for
won't get
you, and
back.
you're like, oh, come on, you could, but it turns out they can't probably.
Sure.
And I feel like I don't know. I think the first time I came here and did an open mic, it was this Laughing Buddha.
Mm-hmm. Laughing Buddha famously hated Mike in New York.
Yeah, and I get why. I mean, the guy who runs it, I'm not gonna say his name. I don't want to start. I don't want to talk shit here. And what?
No. Feel
fuck
free.
it.
I don't give a
Fuck it.
fuck.
His name is whatever. His name is Jeff Lawrence. All right.
That is his name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What? I don't have a career I can ruin here.
Sure.
So whatever. There's, man. I don't want to. Fuck it. So no, I went there and I did I did a paid spot that was I think 4 years ago.
Just to be clear, you weren't paid. You paid for the spot.
I paid for the
Yes.
spot
Yeah.
and I had to buy Diet Coke, and and I walk up to. I'm being introduced by a friend of mine. His name is Jeff Greenspan. I don't know if you heard.
I know
of him.
Jeff Greenspan.
Yeah, Jeff. He's a long-year friend of mine. We both known each other from advertising. I used to do advertising before comedy, and he kind of helped me, like, go to New York and talk to all the people here. And so he introduces me to Jeff Lawrence, and Jeff Lawrence is like, "Oh, you're a comedian from Germany, huh? I heard you work there as a comedian." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Nobody gives a shit about that here." And I'm like, all right.
Fun.
That's
Did you do like a full misdirected, like, oh, I heard you work in Germany?
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about that here.
Yeah, kind of like he said it like it's a trap or something for me. It's not like I came and I was like, I'm a professional German comedian. He asked me, like, he was trying to get me.
You could have just said, oh, you run Laughing Buddha? No one gives a shit about that here.
I didn't know that back then. And I was like, what the fuck is up with this guy? And then he started telling me how kindly he was treated in Berlin when he was there, which is true because we're very welcoming in Berlin. Like, like, even if you're a fucking hack from...
I want to go to Berlin.
I put up great shows in Berlin. Like,
I know, we'll talk. We'll do a live podcast there too.
Okay.
Yeah, you should come. I had, Jocelyn Chia?
Jocelyn Chia. You
Yeah,
helped set that up?
Huh?
You helped set up her thing?
No, she's there often because she has family there. But she's always on my shows there and stuff. I think she's very funny. And so there's some New York comics that come for like.
Yeah.
But it's a great scene. You can play like our open mics are different. Open mic.
Sure.
You can play for 100 people at an open mic.
Sure.
In Berlin.
We'll triple that, and I'm there.
What?
No, that'd be great. Listen, I'd love to.
Yeah. But
I have a friend. He lives in Berlin now. My good friend Kevin, who got married in Hawaii,
Oh,
moved to
wow.
Berlin now. So I'm looking to go there.
You should
'Cause
come.
Now I got a place.
Huh? You could crash on my couch too.
I will stay at Kevin's house.
You
He's
will
very
stay-
rich. Let's move on to our. Are you okay on time?
Yeah.
Every time when you look at your phone, I go, "Oh fuck, Russell has to go."
No, I had like way more messages. I had a phone call. I will have to get off to call someone right after this.
When
But
you're at work,
it's-
do you check your phone like for messages from me?
Absolutely.
You're always somewhere else.
I'm ready, present for you.
Let's go on to our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
You better count your blessing. This is the part of the show we say one thing we're thankful for. Russell, do you
Yes.
have a blessing?
So I was on vacation this last week, went to Cape Cod with my family and Nicole, and something I'm thankful for is Nicole was like, "Hey, we should rent bikes while we're here." And I initially was like, "I don't want to do that." And then I was like, "You know what? Maybe I'm open to it." And
what was the last time you rode a bike?
Oh God. Well, I mean, like moving wise. I mean, like I've ridden bikes at the gym, but like,
What do you mean moving
you know,
wise?
Like,
I was like, what are you talking about?
like through
doesn't
the
count as
air.
bike riding if you're not-
like. It'd been a long time, probably.
Yeah.
And it was the first 2 minutes I was like, it's been a long time.
I can't ride a bike, so no
right.
judgment from
So-
me.
Wait, what?
So yeah, you never learned. So
Seriously?
but it was a
You
nice
want me
thing.
to teach you outside?
Oh,
I
God.
think I've moved past that era.
It was like it had a real impact on my whole week. It felt like all of a sudden I was a biker. You know, I was biking. I was going biking to the beach. I was biking we'd bike to get a drink. We would bike, and we had our little baskets. We'd take things in, and it was a little stressful because there's traffic and there's people
Yeah.
and things. But it was nice. It was like a nice thing that I never thought I would like doing, and I would never do here because it's way too busy.
Never?
It's too busy here. Like you're gonna bike around the
course.
streets of New York. No, but like in a nice.
I think we've had two guests on who've talked about a biking accident in New York City.
Like a nice beach town where there's like, it was like a lovely little thing that I was very thankful for. And I was really not going to do it. I was like, no, you get a bike for yourself. I will be in a car and meet you there. And I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
really rude.
I cycle everywhere in Berlin.
It was, I loved it. I was like, it was like a thing where it felt so much quicker. It would be like,
Oh, yeah.
rather than pack all my shit into a car.
Would you get sweaty? I always think like I'd like.
Yeah, but
would
I was
stink.
going to a beach. I was
Sure.
going to like home. We were going for drinks on a beach. It was like a lot of like
Were you biking drunk?
a buzz, but not like drunk. I was like, and I wasn't biking at night.
Helmet?
Yeah, helmet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love how
I
you're
love that.
like, for you, it's like an action. It's like a motorcycle. Right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Nicole almost did run into someone and fell off her bike though, and it was very stressful for a
okay?
moment because it was like there was traffic coming and the woman had headphones on and she didn't see and she stepped out like at the last minute right in front of us and Nicole was ahead of me, but she was fine.
Well, that's good. I mean, well, I am hanging out with you and Nicole
Tomorrow,
and we'll see if that makes the blessing.
yeah,
We'll see what's good enough to make next
see.
week's blessing. I think I want to use my blessing to shout out. I was in Tampa at Side Splitters Comedy Club. Great club. Had a fantastic time. Good condo. And my opener, Katie Hughes. She lives in Atlanta. I want to have her on. She runs like social media for like vitamin water and Diet Coke.
Okay.
And I think that's just an interesting thing. But great comedian, and just one of those folks that doesn't seem to want to come to New York per se, but is killing it in Atlanta. It's
Nice.
fantastic. She has an album out called Queen of the Castle, I believe, on iTunes. Katie Hughes, check her out. And always thankful to have an opener. She went to the gun show with me. Always thankful to have an
Nice.
opener who's like, I want to try to make some kind of adventure. I want to do something cool.
Yeah.
And the opener was like, "Oh yes, let's go
Yeah.
and get some material."
Yeah,
Do you go to where in the cities you are? You go. You
He
walk
loves
around
doing
to
things,
get.
Yeah. I mean, you're there so briefly. Like, I do wish. I think in my dream world, it's like I would be somewhere for like a week.
Yeah.
But like, I always try to do like some kind of activity, and sometimes you try to do the touristy stuff, and it doesn't live up. But like going to this gun show felt like, oh, I'm like. Now I'm in a foreign world. Now I'm really traveling, and I'm seeing something that's weird and unusual to me.
I love doing this kind of
And
comedy.
yeah.
I love like going to a place and like going into their culture.
Yeah.
And just talking about that on stage. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you have a blessing?
I have two. One of them is 99-cent pizza.
Mm.
It's the greatest thing in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's $1.50 now because of Putin, but it's still great.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah,
I mean, most Americans are blaming Biden, but I'm glad we put
I'm
it
blaming
on
Putin for
Put it on
everything.
Sure,
It's more
sure.
expensive
Yeah.
now. And I get you. And
Aw.
and all the a lot of people have been helping me out. You know, you're one of them.
Good.
It's great to have like you and Jeff Greenspan
Mm-hmm.
and Andy Engel and Tracy Carnazzo. You know her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people. Sarah Harvard,
Mm-hmm.
lots of people that are putting me on. Matt Pavich, people that
Yeah.
are helping me out. Jocelyn Chia. Shit, I'm gonna forget some people, but
None of them
nobody's
are
listening anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Jeff Lawrence.
Love you,
Jeff
Jeff.
Lawrence.
Love you, Jeff.
Yes, but no, it's it's very, and all the people that let me stay in their places.
Yeah.
Like Leo, who's hosting me here, and I got people hosting me, like my friend Eddie in LA and George in San Francisco. It's like who will also not listen, but like a lot of people, when you go to other places, which I do a lot. Like this is not the only country I travel to do comedy, and like people help you out, and it's great. I appreciate that a lot.
Good.
Great.
And is there anything you want to plug? This episode is coming out on September 13th.
September 13th. Shit.
You think, Russell, anything to plug?
Yes, I do. Tonight, if you're in New York City, come to Asylum NYC for Uncle Function.
Still got to memorize my lines. I
Uncle
hope I get it in time.
Function's show is tonight, Asylum NYC at 9:30 p.m. And then in LA, if you're in LA, 1 week from today on Tuesday, September 20th, Uncle Function will be at Dynasty Typewriter, so get those tickets online. Go to Uncle Function Instagram, and then also follow me on Instagram at Russell J. Daniels.
I'll be in LA too by that time. I mean,
Okay, yeah, tell us.
yeah, I'm doing whatever I can get. If you're a comedian, put me on your show. That's what I want.
That's good.
Okay.
But
That's good.
like I'll be in LA. I arrived there on the 14th, which is like tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
in podcast time.
Yeah.
So I'm at the Laugh Factory, and
Good.
I'm doing. We'll see what else. But if people go on my Instagram, for which they'll need to spell my name. SHAHAK, that's my Instagram, or on my TikTok, or on my website, which is linked in my Instagram.
It'll be
Just-
linked in the show notes
Yeah,
as well.
and they can sign up to the America thing, and then I'll send them an email with all the
Great.
dates.
Great.
But
Well,
it's,
go to Laugh Factory. Maybe Chris D'Elia will even pop in.
Yeah, who knows?
And if you want to see me, I'm headlining in Richmond, Virginia, September 15th, 16th, 17th. Then I will be at that Uncle Function show and the one in LA, September 20th. And then I'm headlining the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles, September 21st. Really some industry coming, so please tell your friends to go, even if you're not in LA. That's Hollywood Improv.
Industry coming?
September 21st.
What does that mean?
Industry, like people who can make my dreams come true, who can help me find real happiness.
I need to get me a spot at the Improv.
Yeah. And then September 20th.
I'll come watch you.
Please.
I'll try. If I don't have a show, I'll come. I'd love to.
Sure. Even if you have a show, you should. And then September 29th, headlining Vermont Comedy Club. A real quick post show notes. Just remember, Russell and I don't know anything about history. If anything was inaccurate in this, Russell and I certainly don't know
sorry.
it.
Wait, I don't know either.
None of us
you
do.
Don't
It's okay. We'll
read
fix
the book.
it.
If you're interested, go see Steven Spielberg's Munich for more details.
Yeah.
I don't think people missing legs buy guns. It was just a note about it's hard to take guns away from people who have other disabilities. A word that's still Fuck me.
Gianmarco, just
and-
play the credits.
And more importantly, I have never, and I still do not like Arcade Fire. This is the downside.